Book 224. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Motivation with Matthew Daniels, and today I'm going to tell you guys about the lynching of David Daniels. That's right, the lynching of David Daniels. But what is Matthew Daniels talking about? A long time ago, somewhere on a slave plantation in the area of the earth we call Alabama today, one of the most grievous injustices to ever take place during the days of slavery was perpetrated on a man named David Daniels. This man, David Daniels, was one of my ancestors, no less, and the story of his life and death has been passed down directly to me from mouth to ear. This oral history is not known to many, but perhaps once I record it with the magic of writing, the memory of this most caring man will never fade away. David Daniels was born in Alabama on a plantation which sat close by to a body of water. I am not sure which body of water this was, but I was told that when David was young, he would gather water for the men working in the fields, and he said that he did not have to walk far to retrieve it. When David grew up, he married a woman named Beatrice, who lived on a neighboring plantation, and the two of them had 3 children together. I was told that David was a kind man, and he was extremely caring and loving. He was the type of man to help out anyone in need, and he often was the voice of reason that prevented the other enslaved Negroes from lashing out in ways that would get them killed. He also, because of his passive demeanor, was able to learn how to read. His master allowed him to spend much of his time inside of the big house doing different jobs that needed to be done. The wife of the plantation owner liked David also, and it was her, a lady named Martha, who taught him his letters and showed him how to read. She did this behind the back of her husband, and whenever he was away, she would let David read some of the books they kept in her husband's study. One day, when David was given a pass to see his wife and children, he stole some meat from the plantation owner's shed and took it back to his own plantation. Since David was so well liked, no one suspected he would do such a thing, so he made it back home without being discovered. Then, the next time he went to visit his family, as he left, he stole more meat from the shed. In fact, every time after that, when David went to see his family, he would steal meat from the shed when he left. Over time, the owner of his wife's plantation noticed the meat was missing, and he began to secretly watch the shed at all times. It wasn't long before he caught my ancestor David in the very act of stealing the meat. Immediately, the man had 2 strong black men who were his slaves to grab David and tie him to a tree. He then sent word to David's owner about the theft. Surprisingly, even though David had served him his entire life, the man said that he could do with David whatever he saw fit. David was then whipped until his flesh was torn and shredded, and salt was rubbed into his wounds to increase his suffering. Then, to set an example, they also whipped David's wife and children. Seeing his family being tortured as well, David confessed that it was his master's wife Martha who ordered him to steal the meat. David said that Martha told him he could not go see his family unless he returned with meat stolen from the shed. No one believed his words, and he was beaten even more for accusing his master's wife of orchestrating his theft. Then, when he was at the very door of death, the dogs were loosed on him, and his family watched as he was torn limb from limb. And this is how David died, and his family knew of the events of his death. And in truth, it was indeed Martha who commanded that he steal the meat, but the word of a slave meant nothing in those days. And so, the morning motivation of today is the lynching of David Daniels. Beware of people who pretend to like you and who pretend to be your friends in this life, but at the same time, they try to get you to do things that you know you should not do. These people are only trying to use you, and when you get caught doing the wrong, they will leave you to suffer alone. So today, be sure your friends are really friends and do not do evil for anyone who asks. Instead, as you go about your day, stay true to your righteous nature and always strive to do that which is good. And remember, you are awesome, you are amazing, you are wonderful, and you are great. And you are going to change the world. I just hope I'm still alive to see it, family. I'm out. Good morning.